All right, welcome back, everyone. I am Brian. You are Chords and Notes Nation. You have been invited into my living room for once again a fantastic, I'm sure, performance from Miss Diana Ankudinova. This is from her YouTube channel 3 weeks ago. 850,000 views already in 3 weeks. Yeah, and she just recently got the golden button. She surpassed the 1 million subscribers too. So she's one who's been building her career independent. I mean, she'll go and do concerts and whatnot. You know, like we saw with built off social media. But I think the majority of it is, yeah, absolutely. So who am I talking to? Because you guys have not seen this gentleman before. His name is Frosty. He has a YouTube channel called The Frosty Pepper. I will have a link to that at the end of this video. Please go check it out. Give him some love. Subscribe, share, interact. It's all about the people, isn't it? Bringing stuff to the people. That's not controlled by the narrative.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Way to get around the narrative.
Yeah. Yep. So I know you guys will want to hear us give a raw, honest, and unedited reaction. Reaction afterwards. So we're going to get into this. Frosty, you have never heard of Diana. I've given you a little bit of information.
Diana who?
Ankudinova. I have given you a little bit of information. I believe she's 20, 21, right around there.
Just a kid.
She is.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to let you decide. This is called Burnout. It says it's a clip premiere 2024. I think this is just an audio track. I haven't watched it. But I knew, like, I hadn't listened to her in a while, and I had to come back. You know, so here we are, folks. You ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, green. Giving him the boot, I think. Yep. She voluntarily left the car. held button. So she didn't do some of the signature vocal things that she's known for. And at some point, probably off camera, I'll show you some of that. I was hoping she would have, but she's got this ability to just generate these sounds that are just so hypnotic, you know, and it's just amazing. But anyways, so let's talk about what we saw. Let's talk about the subject matter, the imagery, because I think in this, as far as I'm concerned, it kept me engaged because the imagery was so apropos to what the song was about. And there was a little bit of a catch there, wasn't there? You know, I think, here's what I think. The story started out just talking about how she's kind of like, just kind of getting burned out on this relationship. Things just aren't the way that they used to be. Like maybe the honeymoon period is over and it's just kind of deflating.
Bloom is off the rose.
And then all of a sudden we found out why. She sticks her head in the car.
Yep.
The other woman. Yep. Oh. Take it away.
Okay. I'm not sure what to add. I like the lyrics. I like the message wasn't bad. It was about heartbreak.
Yeah.
You know, some poetic, poetic lines in there.
Absolutely.
I don't remember them offhand, but it was enough to keep me engaged in what she was saying.
And I often wonder because we were watching or reading a translation.
Yeah.
And oftentimes we know how things get lost in translation.
Yeah.
You know, so how much more poetic in Russian is it than it is in English?
Yeah, probably more so.
And I think that's where I look at the imagery of the video as being more of a true indication of the poetic nature of that language than relying on the English version. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So because, I mean, that was a great video.
It was. It's something about the materialism of the modern world, too.
Yeah.
About how she ended up, like, leaving that limo situation and ended up by the shore, holding the bottle.
With the flower.
Some symbology there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or she's the flower, I'm assuming. And
or it's her hope.
Yeah.
You know.
She's watering it with nature now instead of, being busy at work and trying to achieve a modern dream.
And that's the beauty of music. I've always, and I will always hold to this, that music listening is a subjective experience. So even though an artist creates a piece that may have a specific direct meaning that you don't have to interpret, because of the subjective nature of each of our lives, where we came from, how we were raised, our experiences, the filters that we bring information through into our minds, you're going to get a different meaning than I'm going to get, than this person's going to get, than that person's going to get. Now, something like this where it's a little more clear cut, we can agree on the foundation of what the message is, but now you're picking up on something else, that you're picking up on, let's say, the flower and the symbology between leaving the limo, going into nature. And me, with my mysterious mind, I'm hung up on, what was this deal with those two sitting on a log holding hands talking to her? When did that happen? You know, what was that all about? She was running away from them and they found her and gave her a blanket to cover up.
I missed some of the imagery because I was reading the words.
What does that mean? You know, getting into a deeper, and it's just like, okay, so, but that's what I'm talking about, right? So you're focusing on something, I'm focusing on something, and then we run it through the filters of our life experience and the things that we've gone through, and maybe the meaning of a certain part of the song now takes on a meaning to you that transforms that song into something different than it does for me. And I think a good artist, a great artist, will create music with a little bit of that flexibility in order for the audience to be able to appreciate it.
Yeah, flexibility in the interpretations.
Yeah. Because if I were to create something that's...
Leonard Cohen was a master of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
If I were to create... let's say I were to create a musical work, and the lyrics were red is red and green is green.
Yeah.
you sang that really well. That's good.
Yeah.
But if I created a work that says red is red and green is green, except for when she enters my life, then red could mean green. That may sound stupid the way I said it,
Yeah.
but do you see where I'm getting at? Where it's
Sure.
like you add this just a little bit of interpretation.
Yeah. Yeah.
That all of a sudden shifts the meaning.
It does.
And now this person is like, well, I really liked it when it was just red and red. Red was red and green was green. But this person, oh, I really like it when you said red could be green because of this.
Yeah. There's the ladies in the room now.
The lady.
Oh yeah.
So, anyways, listen, she's got a great voice.
She does.
There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
And I promise.
Would you say this is pop music? Modern pop music? I'm very unfamiliar with what the kids are listening to.
I'm going to tell you
Proud of
this.
that, too.
I'm going to tell you this, Frosty. On this journey that I've had with this channel, allowing myself the courage and the freedom to listen to musical artists that are not in the style of music that I force-fed myself,
Yeah.
has now shredded those definitions for me.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Like, do we pick what kind of music resonates with? Then at one point in our life, did you pick what music you decide is going to resonate with you, or is it just a natural inclination?
No, I think there's two
Because
answers.
the pop music of the '80s resonated with me in the '80s.
Yeah.
You know, and I still listen to it now, and it resonates with me even more.
Yeah.
And I listen to like any clips of pop music I hear nowadays. It sounds like noise.
When we're young,
Yep.
I think there are several factors that that are involved in what we choose to force feed ourselves musically. Peer.
Mm-hmm.
What are my peers?
Yeah,
my closest
that's a big
peers.
part of it.
That's also part of which group can I fit in with. And music is that universal language that if you share an appreciation for that, you're kind of in the club.
Yeah.
Okay. I think for men especially, testosterone will definitely play into that. The more aggressive, especially when you're younger and you're just raging with all of that energy. And probably your environment. You know, as you and I we know and everybody knows that certain music is great for certain moods, for certain, you know, if you don't listen to death metal when you're trying to make love.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I suppose you could, but it'd just be really
I'm
weird.
sure people have.
Yeah, I'm sure they have.
Yeah.
But to me, it would just be really weird.
Really ruin it.
So you pick music for different moods, different moments in your life. And I think as we get older and we become more adult contemporary in our appreciation of music, we start to not look at it so much as what are the barriers.
Yeah.
Here's something that I've said many, many times on this channel, is music is a blessing from God. And it's a blessing that allows us to transcend barriers.
It does.
It transcends geographical barriers. It transcends age barriers. It transcends gender barriers. It transcends socioeconomic barriers. You know, think of the rich white kid that's rapping out the ghetto rap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about before the record companies come in and capitalize that kind of stuff. I'm just saying the true essence of music. I actually think that music transcends species barriers. Okay? What do I mean by that? Sounds really weird, right? So, several decades ago when I was living up north, I would go out in the morning, about 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'd go sit at the lake shore, and I'd take that Yamaha classical acoustic guitar that I have, and I'd sit there and I'd start strumming, and then I noticed the songbirds were singing, and then I'd listen to what notes they were, and I'd try and play the notes just to kind of mimic them,
Yeah, me too.
and then I noticed that they would stop when I played, and then when I stopped, they would answer me, and then they would stop and I would answer them. And so there was some sort of connection going on there. Some sort of barrier was being transcended.
I've had that feeling playing by birds before too.
Because we're talking, what are we talking about with music? We're talking about vibrations.
Yeah.
And if you're a living being, you can feel those vibrations, and you're going to respond to them.
Music is an expression of a soul.
Yeah.
It is the art that is natural in us. Like we have a natural drive to create it and to consume it. There's something beyond what's we're able to articulate in words that you can put into a song and make it 20 times, 30 times more profound. You're putting the emotion into the words. But what is music? It's a way to connect. It's a way to express.
It's a vehicle. Just based on what you were saying there, I was reminded of something that Toby Mac said many, many decades ago when he was with DC Talk, and he said that music can take music can take words to a place that mere words can't go on their own.
Yeah, it's true.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So on that, I'm good with this one.
Yep.
This was good. It was a great experience. Wonderful voice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
Girl.
it got us inspired to talk about music, and any good, true, great artist will inspire others, and I think that's
true.
She's got that.
That's true.
So absolutely. Thanks for joining us today, guys. I hope you liked it. I know we did. God bless you. Jesus loves you, and we will talk to you later.
Amen.
We will. It's true. Now, if I could get this to work, we can get out of here.
Bye-bye.
Little remote control. Bye.